thanks for tuning in. Today we were playing NeveN. So, the bunny, Erik, the MC, he managed to make it to Frostfang, the capital of the kingdom. On his way to Frostfang, he met into several new people. The first one being a cat, a falcon from another kingdom named Maked. And on their way to Frostfang, they run into a bunch of bandits who try to take all their stuff. Luckily, there were members of the royal court that were around in the forest, and they were able to help both Erik and a cat with the bandits. So now that they don't have to deal with the bandits, they can head straight to Frostfang, which is the capital of the kingdom that they're in. And it looks like both of them are going to be friendly rivals. And the reason why is because both of them are participating in the music contest that's being held by the kings. So whoever wins the music contest will become the royal bard. So let's go ahead and explore Frostfang. Thanks for now, that was quite a show. You should thank your people. You know how to build when you want to. I have to agree with you on this one. I haven't traveled much, but that's one of the most beautiful cities I've seen. And since the patriotic pride runs through me, I'm aware of the reputation the Frostians have in other countries. I know we come across as savages and barbarians most of the time. Receiving compliments like this is relatively rare, so I might as well enjoy it. I don't want to rush you, but the cat is already taking a long lead. You should follow him. As I look ahead, I can indeed see the sable of the stag moving away from us. They were looking back or worrying about whether we will follow them. So we set off with a lighter heart than before. The sight of the city and its proximity seems to have lifted my spirits as well as the cat's. While the perimeter wall looked big from the distance, I can see how gigantic it really is now down in the south. I don't know who built it, but trying to look at the top of one of the towers is enough to make me dizzy. That was just not the only surprise Frostfang has in store for us. As I walk into the city, I can feel the ground moving up under my toes as if it had been under the sun for hours. After 2 days with the paws in the snow, this feeling is more than welcome. I can't help but let out a sigh of contentment. And here I can't doing the same right next to me, obviously enjoying the warmth. The streets of the capital are very crowded. I can see representatives of almost every northern species walking around. Even though it's getting dark, there are dozens of people walking around or talking to each other. Speaking of darkness, I must ask Tanaka or Gillan to guide us to the nearest end. I have to admit, I don't have the courage to wander the streets looking for a place to sleep. Tanaka, I don't want to bother you any more than necessary, but could you guide us to a cheap inn? You know it's been a long day, and I really want to find a bed, even if it's for ticks. Didn't you read the poster, the one we wrote for the competition? He looks at me almost disappointed. I have no idea why. Well, okay, I didn't read that poster, but I have two excellent excuses for that. The first is that it was Rhaegar who told me about the event, not a poster. The second is that I never learned to read. I never really needed to, since I've always been able to remember every song in my repertoire. Obviously, it's absolutely out of the question to let anyone know that. I turned to the cat, hoping he has an explanation for both of us, but he looks as lost as I do. Well, there's only one solution left. I have to ask for clarification. It's been a really long day. I almost got killed and I had my paws in the snow for 2 days. Let's just say I forgot what you were talking about. Can you refresh my memory, please? The lizard rolls his eyes in sighs. All participants are offered a room in the castle for the duration of the competition. Once the registration has been verified, this avoids unnecessary expenses, and we can keep an eye on you to prevent any attempts at sabotage between competitors. Now I can see why I should have known all this. Well, a free bedroom in the castle. I'm clearly not going to complain about that, but it's fairly obvious to me why I wasn't aware of the information. I wonder why Cat's excuse is. I think I read that somewhere. I kind of forgot, I guess. I don't have a very good memory, you know. I have trouble remembering details like that. He blushes in embarrassment and looks away as I stare at him, well brain. I guess the next stop is the castle then. Indeed, given the circumstances, I will make sure to cut through the administrative work, figuratively speaking, of course. That way you can sleep in the palace tonight. Gillian enters the conversation while looking straight ahead as he walks. I realize that the crowd seems to be laying his path as he approaches, as if avoiding the panther. I wonder if it's his intimidating look or his status. The cats did say he's captain of the royal guard after all. The rest of the walk to the castle is relatively quiet, interrupted every now and then by a remark from one of us. It's not so much that I don't want to talk to them, but fatigue is starting to weigh on my shoulders. I'm there in bed right now. I can't even properly appreciate the marvelous stone building we are approaching. As he passed through the castle gates, we are greeted by 2 armed guards who let us pass after seeing Gillian, giving him a brief nod. The interior of the palace is huge. We first enter through a large courtyard with several doors and stairs leading to other parts of the building. I can see a few guards posted there, as well as a couple of richly dressed people. However, before I have time to inspect my surroundings further, a cavernous voice suddenly explodes through the halls, giving me a huge earache. Tanakh! Turning to look at the lizard, I have the strange satisfaction of seeing him for expression, scales slightly paler than usual. However, Tanakh quickly pulls himself together. He smiles as he steps back. Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure to meet you. That's my cue to disappear. I hope you all have a great evening. Oh, and if you could hold him back for a bit, I'd really appreciate it. Hold him back. Who is? Before I can say anything, the lizard whistles to one on the stairs next to us. He was faster than I expected. Where have you been? You missed our training session, Gillian. A stern-looking bear in full armor comes from a corner of the hallway and stands majestically before us. The 2 guards stand behind him, but they are ridiculously small compared to this juggernaut of a warrior. Said warrior frowns and turns to Vikar and Gillian. And on top of that, you bring us even more refugees. Take good care of them at least. It will be a shame to tarnish our reputation. It's true that the people of Frostfang are known for their hospitality, but I'm beginning to wonder if their kindness seems warm or in contrast to the inhospitality of the wilderness. That being said, I've been mistaken for a lot of things. I'm not today. I'm really getting tired of it. Excuse me, sir, but we are not refugees. We are bards. We are here for the competition. We found them surrounded by bandits. If we hadn't intervened, they would be dead by now. Because looks at me harshly, the bear stops him with a wave of his paw. A giant armor addressed me directly with a strange and means look. And is the idea of coming here without an escort also yours? If you had not been attacked by bandits, you would have been eaten by wild beasts. And there's one thing I'm not in the mood for now, is that kind of comment. I'm exhausted. It's been a steady day. Have the stench of death in my nose. I've always been reprimanded from a cot. So it's possible that a little bit of my anger will get through in my voice when I'm responding. A tiny bit. Perhaps your kingdom maintained and guarded its roads, and as soon as you did your job, we could travel safely. This time now at Gillian, the kind of all guards rounds are giving me an insistent look, and one of them even puts his fingers on the handle of his sword. The bear has a stunned look on his face. For a moment, I'm starting to think I may screw up big time. It's mostly an interlocutor, Sully burst out laughing before slapping me on the shoulder. Although he was very clearly holding back, I could feel my bones crackling from the sock, as if he had suddenly put all my bones back in place. This one's a sharp tongue. If you're not good enough to win, I'm sure you'll make a good jester. A perfect jester. Further hear of noise wise in my bones. I hear what he says. A jester. Do you look like a fucking jester? He can stick his jester up his big furry. No. Calm down, folks, Erik. Let's be nice to the nobility. Sorry to disappoint you, but I fully intend to win the competition. You'll have to find someone else to play the fool. In that case, I can't wait to see what you're capable of. But I must warn you, my fathers are hard to please. His fathers? Why would I give a fuck about that jerk's fathers? Oh no, I suddenly contract every muscle in my body. Yep, I was right. I did screw up big time. Way to go, Erik. You never learn to shut your big mouth. After all, there's... Oh no, I suddenly contract every muscle in my body. Yep, I was right. I did screw up big time. Way to go, Erik. You never learn to shut your big mouth. After all, there's probably only one person in the entire kingdom whose two fathers whose opinion matters in this competition. Nice to meet you, Prince Maelbjorn. The father seems to mischievously enjoy this moment of embarrassment before bursting in laughter. I love doing that. I'm not going to eat you alive, little bunny. You can relax. Now let's get serious, shall we? I'd like to know your names. Caught between the stress of having insulted the crown prince and said, Princess Crib, I began to smile nervously as I stretched my ears. Yeah, Erik, and the scarred falcon behind me is a cat. The falcon raises a talon while smiling, slightly before prostrating himself as much as he can to disappear behind me. And considering my size, that's a feat in itself. If there's anything I didn't expect in my life, it's someone hiding behind me. I got all my courage just to keep from cowering fear before the bear who was currently looking at me from head to toe. His eyes finally land on my rapier. What's that? A sword? I barely held sword, Glenn. I want to catch up with my training, says the mom, and I guess so also by they obviously have some things to learn. But this case is especially insistent when it lands on me. Something tells me that something's irritation isn't really an option, that I really should show up for the training tomorrow. Wait a second, a private session with the Crown Prince? Come on, Erik, it's a good opportunity to score some points. Of course, you're going to show up. I will be there, Your Excellency. The princely mountain of muscles swings his arms behind his back. He never looked as stern as he does now. I prefer Your Highness. The bear remains impassive as I watch him defy the traits of human demeanor. So I'll be there, Your Highness. Heavy silence ensues, and the bear put an end to it while maintaining his serious air. I was joking. This is it. I reached my limit. I'm going to slam the Crown Prince and probably end up slicing the dice by his guards. I'll die young, but I've had a good life, and it will be worth it. I'll blame the bandits and exhaustion. I'll blame the bandits and exhaustion. A playful smile finally appears on his face as if to taunt me even more, but this time he has at least the kindness not to laugh out loud. Unfortunately, he turns his attention to two guards who accompany him, giving me the opportunity to break a breather. Got out against their rooms. I think they need some rest before the competition. One of the guards invites us to follow him with a move of his paw. I cannot follow him, leaving behind the eccentric inhabitants of this place. I'm beginning to think that nobody's normal out here. I know nobles have always had a bit of the real side, but between Tanaka and the Prince, I don't know how long I can keep my composure if I don't get some sleep. I barely pay attention to the corridors the guards lead us through. The last encounter with Maelbjorn drained me of what little energy I had left, and all I want to do is collapse on a cozy mattress. We arrive in front of our rooms. The guard gives us our key before leaving us alone. A cat is installed in the room next to mine, at the end of a corridor that seems to be intended for guests. I glance at the hawk, who seems to be struggling with the lock, looking as exhausted as I am. After finally unlocking his door, he catches my eye and smiles shyly. Good night, Erik. I'm glad I met you. Looks much more sincere than looks mo much more sincere now than he did after the attack. So I smiled back at him with just as much sincerity. Yeah, me too, a cat. If I enters this room, I'll do the same. Throwing myself on the bed, barely taking the time to drop my clothes on the floor. Please let me sleep peacefully. I don't want any real nightmares this time. No, let me sleep. Seriously, I want to nap. Just a bit more. It hasn't it hasn't been the most pleasant night after what happened yesterday. The castle better be on fire, otherwise I swear that whoever knocks on the door will wait for me eternally. 1 minute, I'm coming. I dragged myself out of the bed more than I asked to get up. More than I asked to get up. It's way too early for me. I spend part of the morning tossing and turning. In other words, my mood isn't exactly at its best right now, and I'm being woken up early in the morning by someone pounding loudly on my door. As I look around, I see the clothes from the night before scattered on the floor. Maybe I should get dressed before I open the door, although it would probably be hilarious to present myself naked to whoever is knocking. No, Eric, no. Don't start your life here with that kind of reputation. I rummaged through my bag and quickly pulled out a shirt and pants before jumping into the clothes. I probably don't look very presentable, but right now, I really don't care. After a long sigh, I walked slowly to the door, preparing to bring my wife's wrath upon the person who dares to wake me in the wee hours of the day. As I opened the door and prepared to unleash a torrent of waves on the impotent who dared to wake me, I am suddenly stopped in my tracks when I come face to face with a heavily armored figure. Raising my muzzle, I can see Gillian, his head bent so that he can look at me. His right eye is fixed on me while his left eye is watching straight ahead. I expected him to remove his helmet once, and set a cast but he's still wearing it. In his eye, the warrior is now completely gone. I remember perfectly well what he is capable of, and I feel no need to piss him off. I plastered a side smile on my face before greeting Gillian with a smile wave from my palm. Hey, Gillian, what brings you here so early in the morning? A long sigh escaped from the panther's lips. So much for staying on his good side, I guess. We are way past early in the morning. Yesterday was a long day, and I'm an artist. I'm allowed to have some eccentricities, but my attendant humans is rewarded with the same look you've been giving me since this conversation began. A dead serious stare. The capital has no source of difficult audiences, apparently. I'm going to have to pull out all the stops if I want to win them over. I suppose so. In any case, you'll have to get used to waking up early in the future. Life doesn't begin until late morning when you live in the castle. So I'll have to make an effort, I guess. You didn't answer my question though. Not that I don't appreciate your presence, but I'm curious of why you're here. He straightens out, crossing his arms on his back before dipping his right eye into me. My lord simply wishes to remind you that you are expected for this afternoon's training session, and that he would be extremely disappointed to see you shirk your duties. His gaze briefly hardened as I turned my head away. Not that I had any intention of not going on this date, but Gillian seems to be able to kill someone with a look. That pattern is intimidating. I'm not going to provoke him. We'll start after dinner. The training room is on the first floor of the east wing, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find. Don't be late. I'll do my best after all. I promise to be there. Gillian is judging me again, and this time I see something new in his right eye, a little gleam of amusement. I hope so. I also dare hope that you will make the effort for this afternoon to make sure that you shirt this right side up. The appearance of everything here. Words quickly rising to my ears, and I can feel my face heating up slightly. Wait, absolutely perfect. I'm still able to look more foolish every day. It's his fault too, waking me up like this. Let's try to make up for it a little though. Like I said, I just woke up. A little approximation is expected in these types of situations. I promise I'll be all doled up by later. We'll see. On that note, I unfortunately have other obligations. Good. In the morning. He pauses hesitantly before sighing and speaking again. Get some air. Get out of your room. Go for a walk. Don't stay there after what happened yesterday. You need to get your mind off it. I'm not expecting that at all. Not that it's bad advice, but it's nice of him to try to help me. I just hope it doesn't mean I look that miserable. But indeed, a change of air won't harm me. And then I'm in the capital, the most beautiful city in the kingdom. There must be someone to see and do. It would be a shame to spend time locked up in the castle. I think I'll do that once I get my clothes in order, and I need to clean what I was wearing yesterday too. You have a basket in your room. Put your clothes in, and then leave it out. You have a basket in your room. Put your clothes in it and leave it outside your door. I'm sure we'll clean it for you. Oh, I could get used to life here. I appreciate these kinds of little perks. I don't doubt it for a second. Now you'll excuse me. I have to go. We'll see each other at training. Gillan gives me a polite nod before leaving while I wave him goodbye. Once he disappears around the corner from the hallway, I slam the door outside. I'm kind of happy to see the points about this training thing. It's not today that I'll get a day. It's not today that I'll get a day off. It seems. Yeah, hopefully we just bang sticks together for a few minutes and then he'll leave me alone. Besides, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to spend time with royalty. But right now I need to get my head together. I can't let the events of yesterday work on me too much, and that starts with something simple. I need to get myself back in the right way. As strange as it may sound for someone who was born in a small mountain village and spent most of his life on the road, I think I'm made for the city. I'm at home among the street crowd, avoiding passerby while my senses are constantly stimulated. Must confess that so far, the capital is not disappointing me. I'm still in the vicinity of the royal palace, and the streets are absolutely packed. Dozens of stores are open. I can smell the pastries displayed in front of some of them. The brand of sweets sent to the street. I let my legs lead me, not really thinking about where I'm going. Not that I could really make a decision. I barely know anything about Frostfang after all. I find it strange that I don't see any snow or ice within the city itself. That's whatever it is that makes the pavement warm under my paws, keep the cold from spreading through the city. Not that I'm complaining. After the last few days of seeing enough fucking snow to last me a lifetime, I'm sure a cat feels the same way I do. Speaking of Falcon, I'll have to go check on him. He looked better last night, but the attack seems to have affected him much more than me. Maybe I should have asked him to come with me. A walk through the streets would have done him some good, too. I don't know, this kind of trauma is complicated to deal with. I had to take care of myself, too. Maybe Gillan was right. A little time to enjoy the life in the city might be the best thing for relaxing. Right now I need to clear my head. Just keep moving. Don't think about anything. Let your paws carry you through the streets. I'll close my eyes, but I might wander someone. Let's not do that. I don't know exactly how much time I spend walking. Not that it really matters. I have a lot of time on my paws anyway. So I don't stop until I get in front of a truly interesting building. The temple stands in front of me, its spire rising high into the sky, topped by the 12-pointed star, symbol of the gods. The rest of the building is, as always when it comes to the sacred places, quite so with dark stone walls and wooden doors without any fancy decoration. The gods are not interested in material, only in the spiritual represented by our faith and themselves. Not that it's hard to have faith, it's not like they brand each of us to remind us of their existence. However, there is something unique about the Temple of Frostfang and the entire kingdom. It is the one and only devoted to the entire pantheon. Most of the others merely serve 2 or 3 gods. The biggest one I saw was dedicated to Eo, though. The forgetful ones, on the other hand, well, they only have an altar here in the capital, and to be honest, I'm damn curious to see what this altar looks like. Usually it's marked with the brand of the god it honors, so how do you represent God when he hasn't branded anyone yet? Only one way to find out. It's time for me to pay a little visit to our gods. Then I can take the opportunity to ask them to grant me my brand. It hasn't worked so far, but I'm not risking anything by trying. In the front building, in the front door, I can see 4 priests walking. For all the respect I have for the clergy, I always found their formal attire a bit ridiculous. Not necessarily the dark blue tunic itself, although very similar, gives the wearer a certain elegance or authority. No. The problem is the holes in their clothes. Priests have a duty to show their brand in a visible way, not only to honor their God, but also so that we can quickly know who they are honoring. This sometimes results in, shall we say, complicated situations. I once saw a priestess of Huey whose brand was on her left buttock. I don't think I've ever come across anyone who spent that much time sitting on or leaning against the walls. I wonder if the fact that she manipulated ice cold water had anything to do with it. The 4 males in front of me were, fortunately for them, luckier. The larger of them, Amaru had his brand imprinted on his face. It was a large rectangle filled with curved lines on the left side of his muzzle. The priest of Garan, god of the earth. Next to him, a beaver priest of Miriani simply cut off the entirety of his left sleeve, exposing his arm covered in lines representing brambles, the symbol of life. They are both listening to what appears to be a debate between a mouse and exposing his shoulder branded by a lariat. A fox also missed a sleeve while bearing the brand of life. Now, step forward, the beaver seemed to quickly apologize to his companion before coming to me. Great, absolutely great. Of all the gods that had to be a representative of Mariani, you came to talk to me. Smile, Erik, and be polite. Whatever you think of the gods, it's not the priest's fault. Hello, and welcome to the Temple of the 12. Can I help you? Hi, and no thanks, I'm fine. I'm just passing by and I was taking a look. Very nice brand, by the way. Very nice brand? What the fuck I'm saying? The beaver doesn't seem bothered by my answer. God praise. Thank you very much. Feel free to visit the temple in that case, and you can pay homage to our God, of course. My God. I'm still waiting for one of them to brand me before I consider praying to God. That said, there's no need to start a debate on the subject. Just smile and nod. I'll do it. Have a nice day. Have a nice day too. When I found out he returned to his companions, I wondered why he came to me like that. I guess I must have looked lost, or maybe he spotted me while I was looking at their brands. Anyway, it's time to see what the temple has in store for me. Make a sure strike. I step forward and open the door, ready to be dazzled by the splendor of the interior. To be merely brought back to reality, the temple is very sparsely decorated and excessively quiet. At most, I can hear a few whispers coming from the 12-sided alcoves, one for each god. The center aisle is filled with wooden benches and simple white cushions. At least people are sitting comfortably when they pray, which is always a plus. Considering where I am, the place seems strangely unpopulated. About a dozen or so people are present at most. I guess the people that care about more religion at home and less at the temple. The maid is almost new and people are more interested in eating than praying. That's a non-negligible possibility. Curious about the layout of the building, I go forward to take a look at the altars placed in the alcove, seeking to see how deities are arranged in relation to each other. I quickly realize that they have kept it simple. 6 altars are placed on one side and 6 on the other, with the center aisle separating them. Each altar thus faces another. Argon, the everlasting fire, faces Fury of the flowing water, just as Gawain opposes her brother, Tessa the Ariel. Just behind them, Lastra and Laria, Sal and Light, are facing each other. Now, altars are more or less what I expected. A simple stone table carved with their brand and a large bowl for offering. There is no representation of the gods. After all, we don't know what they look like. I guess their style very, very ugly. It is, however, the next pair of gods that interests me the most. To my left, I can see the altar of the Mariani, so on my left, on my right, should be the first of the forgetful ones. Test, God, death. Still curious to see what the place of worship of a god with a brand looks like. I step forward to peek, and again, nothing too original. There's the same stone table with a bowl as in the other alcoves, but instead of a carving of the god's hand, his name is engraved directly into the rock. As is often the case with us Frostans, we kept things simple and effective. Now that I have my answer and my interest, the main 4 altars displayed in the minutes. Haraka's one will also have a carving its brand, while the 3 remaining forgetful ones will simply have their names on theirs. With a sigh, I prepare to leave. After all, I still need to eat and have time to digest before I meet Maelbjorn in the train room. Before I turn around completely, however, I see something that makes me decide to stay a little longer. In the last alcove on the left of the center aisle, there's someone playing a priest judging by his outfit. According to the logic in the layout, he should be kneeling at the altar of Manasa or NeveN. That seems strange to me. I've never seen anyone pray to the goddess of Maya or the god of time. I don't think they have a priest, after all. You have to bear the brand the gods represent them, or those who have never branded anyone. But I'll tell myself that one day my curiosity will get the better of me. I step to the unknown. I want to understand what's going on there. It's probably nothing serious, but I can't help it. I have to check. For once, it seems that my curiosity is justified. If the tunic of my mysterious stranger indicates to me that he is indeed a priest, the rest of his outfit leaves me perplexed. A scarf of the same blue fabric is wrapped around the worshipper's head, completely enveloping him and concealing him from the view of others. For where I stand, I can see no opening exposing his brand. I walk as far as I can, paying attention only to the applicant in front of me, so much so that my paw knocks over a pot sitting next to one of the benches in the aisle. Well done, Erik. Always so good at hiding your presence. You're not very stealthy for a rabbit. I attempt to apologize, smiling as I scratch the back of my hand, looking away from the priest who had stood up to face me, an amused tone in his voice. Even now I'm unable to tell what exact species he belongs to because of his scar. A dog, perhaps? He looks like a canine. Anyway, I have to answer him, and I also have to apologize for sneaking up on him. You'd be surprised how often I'm told that, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just curious to see someone praying to a forgetful God. You'd be surprised how often I get told that. His funny tone merely relaxes me. I feel like I've managed to piss off half the people I've talked to since yesterday. It's nice to have someone with the opposite reaction. You must admit that it's common to see someone praying to them, and your outfit is a little uncommon too. There's a simple solution to this riddle, young rabbit. I am the priest dedicated to these 4 gods, and my brand's on my muzzle, so I hide our respect for them. I didn't know they had priests. Probably because, as far as I know, I'm the one and only priest of the forgetful ones in this kingdom. It seems that they don't attract many people. I don't see why anyone would pray to a god that's forgotten existence in his creation. If they really care, they will offer us their brand like the others. That's what everyone seems to think, indeed. I have another interpretation, no. If you have some time, I can explain why I think they are misnamed. He goes to sit on one of the benches and beckons me to come next to him. I have some time to listen to him. The question is, do I want to? Yeah, I don't really have much better to do right now. Besides, I have to admit, I'm pretty curious to see what this priest has to say to me. With a smile, I come and sit next to him, ears turned in his direction in order to listen carefully. I suppose I can spare you some of my time. I'm really curious to know why the whole world would be wrong about the forgetful ones. A small chuckle escapes from behind the scarf, concealing the priest's face. In that case, I'll do my best not to waste this precious time you have given me. Let's see. NeveN, says Manasa, Kaluthan, time, death, mine, and hunt. After the test line was created, they would have forgotten about it, abandoning us in the process of refusing to offer us their brands. At least that seems to be accepted as a truth by everyone, and that's perfectly understandable. After all, it explains why we don't have any brands of time or mind. So far, nothing new. Everyone knows that. I guess there's a but that should be coming soon. What? I knew it. I believe that in truth is the opposite. Is the exact opposite. I think these gods are the ones who love us the most and are acting for our well-being. What? I was expecting him to try to put a different spin on this story. This seems a bit extreme. They ignore us. They refuse to brand us. How could they be the ones who love us the most? A confusion must be obvious, as the priest chuckling. I suppose further explanation is necessary. It would be more than welcome, yes. It's not like it's a completely opposite idea from what the rest of the world believes. Indeed, I could have phrased that a little bit better. But is that really what you believe? It doesn't make sense to me. I'll explain it, but be patient, young rabbit. But let's start with a question, if you don't mind. What exactly are brands? Oh well, everyone knows that. The symbol of our gods applies to our bodies. They allow us to channel some of their power. That's a little description, yes. However, it's much more than that. It's direct connection with the deity. But also responsibility of doing our weight on our shoulders. I'm not sure I follow. Which god has branded you? Maybe it will be clearer with an example. Which god has branded you? Maybe it will be clearer with an example. That question, I suppose I should have seen it coming. A silence for looking away. I still haven't received my brand. Really? You look old enough to me. I guess the gods have a good reason to make me wait. Why do you ask? I was hoping to use your brand as an example, but I guess I can do otherwise. Let's keep it simple, if you don't mind. As I said, a brand is a gift, but also a duty. Let's take a chosen of Maelbjorn as an example. The control of nature and the ability to heal are great gifts. I will never say otherwise. But it's also a great responsibility. Once they learn to heal, they can't stay outside. If they come across an injured person, they'll compare to help, use their power to ice everyone, especially if there are gods upon them. I wish he had used a different example, but I think I see what he's getting at. I understand the idea, but it doesn't work with every brand. Like ourselves, brand users don't have such direct responsibilities, right? Indeed, but their duties lie elsewhere. In their case, it's more about their will to hold back. To hold back from misusing their powers. It seems simple when you say it like that, but the temptation can be great. For example, a light brand can be used to create illusions to make people see what we want them to see. How can we not be tempted to use such powers for our own benefit, to the detriment of others, and even sometimes to our own detriment? I've seen enough orphans chosen come here covered in burns. And that's where we come back to the forgetful ones. The temptation to use such powers is strong with the brands we already have. Can you imagine what someone with control over time, mind, or death itself would be tempted to do? Let's take NeveN for example. Have you ever imagined being able to go back to change any of your actions, just do things differently? Another easy question. I know exactly what I would change if I could. I spare enough time thinking of better ways to not cause everything that happened. I just nod silently. I don't want to risk the priest hearing my trembling voice. Of course, everyone thinks like that. Everyone has a mistake from the past, and they wish they could change. The brand NeveN could give you that power. At first glance, it sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Again, I'm looking to see what exactly he's getting at. But what if you're not happy to change either? Are you going back again and change your past again and again and again? Will you be tempted to experience the same moment over and over again until it was perfect to eventually understand that perfection doesn't exist or lose your mind trying to find it? Not to mention, of course, the immense power that these brands will offer to the chosen to control the mind of others, or to have control over their. These very ideas are enough to make you shudder. This is why I believe that by choosing not to brand us, those we commonly call the forgetful ones are actually the kindly ones. Especially from these temptations from this immense power isn't a proof of love. I've never seen it like that. It makes sense, doesn't it? It's kind of like parents keeping their kids away from fire or swords, I suppose. But that doesn't mean your idea is false, sir. I too am capable of pondering about these things. I think I understand, but it doesn't work for Caluthan, doesn't it? I don't think his brand would be any more powerful than the others if it ever existed. When he answers me, I feel like I hear a hint of amusement in the priest's voice. I'm not sure how to take it. It looks like you are able to pay attention to details, but yes, this idea does not work the god of the hunt. I believe that in his case, the explanation is even simpler. Oh, really? Brands are what differentiate us from animals. It is thanks to it that we acquired consciousness, that the gods revealed themselves to us, and that we eventually became Anthropans. We're hunting something eminently natural in the world, something instinctive. I would even dare to say it happens every second of the day and night out here. I think that's the explanation of the Caluthan's absence. His domain is nature itself. He doesn't need a brand to convey his message. I'm less convinced this time. Sure, animals hunt, but so do we. The guy is a perfect example of this idea after all. He's a herbivore who lives like a predator. But I must admit that this idea is interesting. Maybe I can think about it a bit more at another time. I don't know. It's a theory. Not that it makes a difference in the end. They still don't brand us. But I think I understand why you would want to serve them. That's what you believe in. Well, I didn't say I was necessarily right. It's just what seems to make the most sense to me. I find it hard to imagine the gods just began their creation. You guys easily forget they are children. Be surprised how often that happens, priest. Believe me, I know something about that. My interlocutor stands up, briefly brushing imaginary dust from his thighs. I understand that this is the end of our discussion. I do the same. Thank you for your time. We have the opportunity to debate this kind of thing. I'm afraid my colleagues don't share my views. Oh, no problem. It was interesting to say the least. Gave me something to think about. I guess that's more than I could have hoped for. Then, if you ever want to talk more, you can always find me here. Fortunately, I must return to my occupation with real pleasure. For me too. And I think I'll come back one of these days. We greet each other briefly. And I see him return to the altars, the forgetful ones. What a strange priest, interesting but strange. I don't think I've ever come across anyone who thinks like him. A gurgling sound echoes through the temple. I can immediately find a source. I am clearly hungry. It's time for me to get something to eat, and quickly. I exit the temple and find myself back on the street. There must be somewhere I can buy something to eat to There must be somewhere I can buy something to eat my fill in the city. If I need any confirmation I'm indeed in the capital is done, 5 copper coins for a loaf of bread. 5. The damn thing is hard as a rock. I hope the palace offers us food instead of lodging, otherwise my purse will be empty before the competition. But hey, at least I ate something. I won't have to survive Prince Maelbjorn's training on an empty stomach. I really hope he'll just ask me to watch from afar and clap when he does something impressive. My little trip. I guess that's more than I could have hoped for then. If you ever want to talk more, you almost found me there. Unfortunately, I must return to my occupation. It was a real pleasure for me too, and I think I'll come back one of these days. We greet each other briefly, and I can see him return to the altar to forget ones. What a strange priest, interesting but strange. I don't think I've ever come across anyone who thinks like him. A gurgling sound echoes through the temple. I can immediately find a source. I'm clearly hungry. It's time for me to get something to eat, and quickly. I exit the temple, finding myself back on the street. There must be somewhere I can buy something to eat my fill in this big city. If I need any confirmation I'm indeed in the capital is done, 5 copper coins for a loaf of bread. 5. A damn thing as hard as a rock. I hope the world palace offers food as well as lodging. Otherwise my purse will be empty before the competition. But hey, at least I ate something. I won't have to survive Prince Maelbjorn's training on an empty stomach. I really hope he'll just ask me to watch him fall and clap when he does something impressive. My little trip around the city was quite interesting. The capital was one of the liveliest cities I have seen in. Well, if it isn't Reiko's little toy. Ah, fuck. I used to recognize the voice coming from behind me. I still know he would be here. I still know he would be there. Damn it. Ben, it's been so long, and I almost thought I'd never see you again, and that would have been just the same. I forced a smile and turned around to face my former colleague. I'm curious to see if he's changed in 2 years. And that's when the weasel's almost identical to what I remember. Barely taller than me, and dressed in the most colorful clothes he could find. As always, NeveN is trying to be the center of attention. The hero was hoping never to see him again when he left the troop. What in Tesla's name are you doing here? And where's the old sticky helm? Looks like you are as charming as ever, Sven, but to answer your questions, Laura isn't with me. I guess we're both here for the same reason. There's a contest and I intend to win it. He was surprised for a moment, then chose mockingly. I don't like that at all. Really? Now that's interesting. What happened? You found a new toy more interesting than you and kicked you out of the band too? Oh please, are you still bitter about that? It's been over 2 years. It's time to move on. I had an interesting job on a great band. Then one more you saw and suddenly I'm relegated doing backup vocals. Rogor let you sing the solos whenever you want. Don't exaggerate the situation. You took my job. I bet what can I do about it? You can't blame Rogor for wanting to make the most entertaining show possible. Bear my ass. He took pity on you and decided to keep you instead of me, that's it. Old Geezer likes to play savior and you were here to satisfy this need. Oh yeah, of course. It's because he took pity on me that when I left, he threw me a farewell party and practically begged me to stay. That's right, I don't remember him doing that when you announced you were leaving. I talked to him smiling with all my teeth. NeveN has always been an asshole, especially with me, and I have absolutely no problem getting in his face. I had the immense satisfaction of seeing him unable to come up with an immediate response. So once him ruminate like this, grumbling as he searches for an appropriate answer, is a unique pleasure I don't think I'll ever tire of. Alas, that pleasure seems to be short-lived. The weasel looks satisfied with his upcoming comeback. Whatever, his opinion shouldn't really matter now. After all, it's the kings we're going to try to please. You will try. I will succeed. But I have my doubts, you see. You're a good singer, Erik. There's no denying it. But that's all you are, a singer. And I think the world chorus bears a little more than that. As good as you are, without music you are not worth much, and I know that none of Wago's musicians will abandon him. So here you are all alone, while I have my new band with me. I'm sure it would be very cute to see you perform out all alone in front of the court, but I can give them a real show. So go on with your little dreams of victory if you want to, but as long as you're on your own, you have no chance of winning. I suddenly feel an urge to ram my fist in this asshole's face. Mainly because I know he's right. While I have perfect confidence in my abilities, I also know that a position is necessary if I want to compete with Sven. Fortunately, I don't have any valid argument at the moment. Erik, buddy, you are a genius. But my dear, who told you I was all alone? I can read the surprise on his face. You're bluffing. Never would one of Wago's musicians have. They wouldn't have left him, yes. I know, you're preparing yourself, Sven. Getting senile, are we? It turns out that our mutual friend doesn't have exclusivity concerning the musicians of Frostfang. You expect me to believe that you've already managed to find a musician? How long have you been here? Well, let's just say I've been around for a very short time. It appears that unlike you, I'm able to be friendly with the people I meet. You'd be surprised how helpful that can be. As it happens, I met a lute player. Oh, you should hear him. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I may be overdoing it a bit. After all, I've never heard a kid play, but then again, I doubt anyone would offer him this wonderful lute if he wasn't at least somewhat skilled. Exaggerating reality is totally valid if I can wipe the smile off Sven's face. Oh, and did I mention that he's Macayan? I'm absolutely certain that the court will be most intrigued by his presence. You know how to know his love the exotic. You're lying. There's no way you could have found such a gem on the road. Why would I lie about something so easily verified? And now for the coup de grace. And now for the coup de grace. I snap my fingers as if I suddenly remembered something. Oh wait, if you doubt what I'm saying, why not ask the Prince? After all, he was there to greet me personally last night. Which reminds me, he also invited me to one of his training sessions. I'll unfortunately have to leave you here in the dust of the street. We don't keep royalty waiting. I believe that if his look could kill, I'd be there on the spot. I'm kinda glad he only has an Earth brand. No doubt I would have been charred a long time ago if he had been branded by Argon. Without waiting for a response, I turn around to go back to the castle, but I'm quickly stopped by his grip of soda. I can feel him squeeze me so hard it hurts. What the? Sven, let me go. I know you, Erik. You screw up every time you do. That's all you're good at. So be as cocky as you want. I know you're going to do something stupid. You're going to screw the wrong guy or piss off the nobles. I don't care how, but you're going to fuck it up somehow. And when you are humiliated, when our lords drive you from their court for your actions, I will have the pleasure of seeing you return to the cesspool Rigger was kind enough to pull you from. You'll be back where you fucking belong while I enjoy my new job. So enjoy what you have. Keep being arrogant while you can. You're just a parasite, Erik, and someone will eventually crush you. I'll be there to see the show. Believe me. Savannah never had the most sympathetic tone when he spoke to me before, but I never heard so much vim in his voice. It takes me a few seconds to compose myself. While he may not be the most eloquent, the bastard knows how to hit. The bastard knows how to hit where it hurts. Invoking my past one of his classics, I've learned to ignore those little jabs, even throwing a few back at him. The idea of becoming homes together by my own fault, that's new, and that really hurts. I face him too. I don't even know why exactly. Spit on him, punch him in the face. He's already gone. It must have taken him longer than I thought to recover from his insults, and he took this opportunity to leave it. Shit. Well, it won't have been the most pleasant encounter, but at least I was able to return a few blows. Focus on that. Keep it positive. Savannah is not that important after all. He has no real power here. The only person who can screw things up is you. So we focus on the present and do what we have to win. To begin with, I need to see the cat quickly. I just hired him as a musician without actually telling him or getting his approval. Excellent, Erik. As always, you speak before you think. But I can fix the situation and have a little time left before the prince's training session. The cat is probably in his room. I hope so anyway. I should be able to make a deal with him. I will return to the castle at a much faster pace than usual. I have a bird to hire in due form. Well, this first morning in the capital has been strange, to say the least. Interesting but strange. I could have done without seeing the savannah again, though. It would have spared me from standing in front of the cat's bed with wondering how to ask the falcon to work with me without letting him know that I had already announced our partnership to someone else. To be perfectly honest, I mostly want to check on him. Yesterday's attack took quite a toll on him, and I don't want it to wear on him too much. I take a deep breath and knock on the door. I can't? And I immediately realized I assumed he was going to spend a day in his room, which is ridiculous since there's a good chance he isn't there. In this case, it's going to make things a lot more difficult for me. I don't really have time to search the whole castle, let alone the capital if he decided to go out. Fortunately, the door opens a few seconds after I knock. The villain falcon doesn't look as very safe. The cat has dark circles around his eyes. He looks somewhat downcast. He smiles when he sees me, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that his smile is forced. Come on, Erik. Let's put some joy back in this poor boy. Hello, Erik. I didn't expect to see you. Hey, and what? Hey, and what? You thought I was going to ban you now that we arrived? Not my style, buddy. You have to put up with me. I have to admit, the thought It crossed my mind. It's not actually like I brought you luck so far. It's not like you had anything to do with it. Come on, can I come in? By the way, I'd like to have a little chat, and the hallway isn't the best place for that. Oh, yeah, sure. Please come in. He steps aside to let me pass, which I do with a bouncy step. It may be over the top, but some happiness to hear him. I started doing it once inside, though. A quick glance at his room tells me a lot about him. He and I have two very, very different notions of how to organize things. His bag is neatly tucked to the side, while his bed is made as if no one has ever slept in it, and I can't see any clothesline on the floor. For a split second, I picture my bag randomly thrown on the ground, my clothes all over the floor, and the sheets hanging off the side of my bed. I quickly chased that thought away. Still very different styles, absolutely not a sign that I need to take better care of myself. Seeing no chair, I sit down on his bed, cross my legs as I beckon him to come join me, which he does after closing the door. So, what do you think? So, what do you want to talk about? Yeah, it can wait a bit. How are you doing? No offense, but you look like shit. I'm fine overall. I just slept really badly. A lot of nightmares. Hey, that's understandable considering what happened yesterday. I still helped you. I still done something. I already told you not to worry about it. I still, Erik. They could have killed you and I just stood there and watched. My brain isn't useful in a fight, so I could have tried something. That's why I see when I try to sleep, just cutting your throat open while I watch helplessly. Why would you even want to talk to me after that? You need help, I'll just abandon you. A cat starts to shake and tears run down his cheeks. Shit, I knew he'd be affected by what happened, but I didn't think he'd be so consumed with guilt. I'm really struggling to understand why. It's not like he could have done anything. This situation was a disaster from the start. We were lucky to get out of it alive. Can't leave him like that. I have to do something. I slowly put my palm on his shoulder while I tried to catch his eye. Hey, that's not how I see it. I didn't need you to come and rescue me. In fact, I didn't ask you to do anything for me. But, shh, listen, okay? You were under attack. Neither you nor I could have done anything about it. I can see that you are not a warrior, a cat. You are not used to this kind of situation. I am. I've been on the road a long time. I've been through that before. Believe me, you did great. The first time I got attacked, I was good. I spent my time curled up in a ball, hiding in the bottom of a wagon. I know how terrifying those situations can be. So don't beat yourself over it. If you really don't want it to happen again, learn to stand up for yourself and to react properly. But I want you to know that I don't blame you. I will never blame you for being afraid. Now it's over. So stop thinking about things that haven't happened and never will. I grabbed him by the shoulder and turned him slightly to face me as he indulged. Then I leaned in so that our foreheads kept against each other while looking into his eyes. So yes, I'm here. I still want to talk to you and that will never change. He closed his eyes silently. I do the same, but simply standing there while he thinks about what I just said. The sound of our breaths is the only thing that breaks the silence as we both stay still against each other. Thank you. I still have to think about this whole situation, but thank you. That's why I'm here. If you still have trouble sleeping, my room is right next to yours, so don't be shy and come see me, okay? I won't think about it, but why are you so nice to me? Because I'm perfect, of course, an incredible body and a great personality all in one. He laughs softly and raises his head while I raise mine too. At least he's receptive to my humor now. So what did you want to talk about? I need to get my mind off this whole thing. Alright, we need to get that out of the way. This day is pretty busy, it seems. I've been thinking about the contest. I came up with an amazing idea. And absolutely not something I said to piss someone off. Oh, but why do you want to share this idea with me? We're competitors. What if we weren't anymore? I think we should team up. We could present ourselves as a duo. You as a musician and me as a singer. I can't seem doubtful. Well, not quite the reaction I was expecting. You don't seem particularly delighted by the idea. Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to play music for you, but is that even allowed? I participated in a few competitions back home It was almost always solo. Oh, okay. I guess it must seem like a strange idea then. Theoretically, that's the case here for most contests, but this one is not exactly like the others from what I understand. The goal is not necessarily to award the best board, but to pick someone who can entertain the court. So if we do a better job as a group, this should be fine with they should be fine with it. As long as we don't sew up with a band of 15 people, I guess I don't see them hosting that many people at the castle permanently. That was a lot less formal than in my country. There aren't many specific rules when it comes to the number of people then. Now, strict rules aren't really our thing here. Unlike you mechanics, we don't have a broom up our ass. I stick my broom out at him, playfully as he rolls his eyes. He seems to be doing better. I'm glad to see it. I hold out my palm to him, a big smile on my face. So, shall we team up? We'll have a much better chance of winning by helping each other. After all. He hesitates for a moment before reaching out his talent to shake mine. A smile formed on his face. Very well. Besides, it's always more enjoyable to perform with a friend. Now that's the way to go. There's still one last detail to be settled. You have a huge advance over me, you know? An advance, I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. That's about as well as I can while winking at the falcon. Well, you've heard me say. I don't think I've heard you play. If we really want to get this partnership, I need to be sure you're on my level. Cat tries to hold back a chuckle at my remarks as he reaches for his lute, gently stroking his neck. I suppose you're right, so it makes sense for me to sew. I suppose you're right, so it makes sense for me to show you what I can do. Hmm. Hmm. It really seems like he likes to talk whenever he gets worried. I'm going to have to teach him to control himself if I want to have the chemistry on our band. I can't. Let's talk more playing. Stop freaking out like that. Just do your thing. Falcon gives me a surprised look before taking a long breath. I see a white light appear under his shirt near his shoulder. Did he activate his brand? Before I have time to ask, his fingers slide across the strings and music begins to fill the room. My attention entirely focused on a cat who was sitting next to me. I spent a lot of time with musicians of all kinds so truly gifted, but I've never heard anything like this. Their notes seem to float and stay in the air longer than they should, sometimes shifting in tone. They change in ways I don't think are naturally possible. Cat must have an air brain. That's the only possible explanation. He uses it to modify the sounds he plays, creating notes and melodies that are impossible to replicate otherwise. It's something that I have witnessed, but never on this level. Most musicians just carry the sounds, fill or extend a few notes. They aren't able to continually alter what they're playing. I look at the falcon expression with curiosity. His eyes are closed, completely focused on his instrument. Any form of anxiety or stress is gone now. He seems calmer than ever. Unable to resist any longer, I open my mouth to accompany him. I see nothing specific, no words or phrases, just simply sounds, vowels flowing through the air, accompanying the cat's notes and dance with them. I don't know how much time we spend saying that to each other. Him playing and me singing. It doesn't really matter. We enjoy each other's art and create something better than we could have done on our own. The last note eventually fades and a pleasant silence settles over the room. Neither he nor I really want to break it. He raises his head, his gaze meeting mine, and we both smile. So, do you think I'm good enough to play for you? No, I think we'll simply cross our competitors. His smile widens even more. I must admit, I didn't expect him to be this good. I truly believe that no one will be able to beat us in this contest. Once again, my gaze falls on a cat's lute. It is truly a work of art itself. No wonder the falcon is so protective of it. Do you want to play? Obviously, the falcon has caught my eye. Are you sure? As precious as it is still an instrument. It's meant to be used. This opportunity I don't intend to miss. I take hold of the lute, and gently as I can, almost caressing the black wood. But, just to be sure, do you know how to play? Yeah, don't worry. I'm not a certified musician, but I've at least learned the basics. I just need to remember everything. It's been a while since I played. I smiled before closing my eyes. I wasn't kidding. It's really been quite a while since since I last played something. My instrument is my voice after all. My fingers slowly slide over the strings, trying to remember their correct placement. I know it's something like this. Lower your right paw a little. Place the finger on the second string. For a brief moment I stand still. It was a voice that I have not heard in a long time. No, no, no. Pull yourself together. Don't forget, you left all that behind. Maybe it would be easier if you guide my movements, so you'll be focused on my paws than on what you're playing. No way. You're here to learn something. Stop it. Erik? Ooh, am I that unsettled? It's mostly that I know you well, my love. Erik, hey, is everything okay? Erik! A cat's voice finally reaches me, and I open my eyes to face the falcon who looks at me before expression. My breathing is faster than usual. Calm down, catch your breath, and force a smile. Yeah, I'm fine, don't worry. I was just trying to remember how this works. Please don't ask me for more details, don't insist. Okay, but if you don't want to play, there's no pressure, you know. Many gods be thanked. No, no, no. I said I was going to play you something. I'm going to play you something. I told you I just had to remember how to do it. Here, it's okay, look. Set my thumb over one of the strings pressed on it. However, just as I release it, I feel something go wrong, and I hear a snap. Fuck, damn it. The string snapped in half, looping along the neck of the instrument once it was cut cleanly. I've had the lute in my paws for less than 2 minutes and I've already managed to break something. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry, I can't. I assure you it was an accident. Put the instrument as gently as possible in the bed before getting up. It's okay. These things happen. I still have a replacement string somewhere. Yeah, sure. Just as sure. I'll let you do that then. Oh, you leave my way? I haven't been on the Prince. I almost forgot with all this. I'll see you later to discuss how we organize for the contest. That's not entirely a false excuse. I really need to start hurrying up if I don't want to be late. But I also need to get out of here. I need to get my act together. I can't do that with a cat next to me. Let's not find out about this. Oh, right. I forgot something. Training, right? Good luck, I think. Good luck, I think. I don't know what I'm supposed to say in this situation. Good luck seems appropriate. I'll take that, thanks. Without waiting for his answer, I'm running out of the room. I have to find a good spot to sit down. After a few minutes of wandering around the castle, I end up on a stone bench at a deserted hallway. I breathe as slowly and deeply as possible. I need to calm down. Why did Vigo pop into my head like that? I've touched the lute before, and it's never done this to me. Is it just a shock of the last 2 days from the meeting with NeveN? Damn, I thought I was done with all that. I wish Vigo was here. He always knows what to play. Now, that's not how I'm going to get better. You're also here to learn how to take care of yourself, so you get your shit together and cut the crap, Erik. I spent a few minutes on the bench just reassuring and encouraging myself. I've been shaken up by the last few events, but that's no reason to go backwards. I'm better than that. There's no point in staying here. I really do have a training session with Maelbjorn. I shouldn't keep the Prince waiting. I also need to find a way to make it up to a cat. Yeah, I find myself wandering the corridors of the castle, this time with a slightly more specific goal in mind, the training room. I had to go to another wing of the building, and as I passed through the corridor, I see a cat laying against a wall, carving a piece of wood. His huge bow sits next to him, and as I watch it, impressed by its size, an idea comes to me. I know how to apologize to a cat. I walk towards the stag with an honest smile stretching my lips. Despite my light step, his ears twist at my approach, and he raises an indifferent gaze at me before resuming his activity. Here's a little prayer yesterday. What can I do for you? A pleasure to see you, dear. I was just coming to thank you once again for the rescue, and I potentially have a little something to ask of you. 3 times nothing. I'm leaving a blank in the conversation, hoping he'll respond. The stag once again takes his eyes off what appears to be a wooden figure, that of a creature I don't recognize. He stares at me silently with an insistent expression, obviously expecting me to continue. I see someone's in a talkative mood. I'm fine with that. I can hear myself talk more often like that. I give a playful smile to my interlocutor, who lets out a little chuckle while returning to his activity. As I was saying, I just need a small favor. I accidentally broke a string of my friend's lute. I could use a replacement. I figured given your weapon and your job, you must know something about strings. About both strings. Is there a difference? A sing of love. You dance with death. You are all part of the great symphony of life. You got some nice wording, but that won't get you far if you plan to fix his lute with your words. We use lining strings for our bows. They are less fragile than humidity. What you should look for is guts. First, ew, and then I suddenly regret touching those instruments. Besides, I knew it wasn't going to be that easy, but it was worth trying. I nod politely to the deer and am about to turn away when he speaks again. I can still help you, you know. I have enough to make your strings. I'll just need to replenish my stock. Tomorrow I'm going hunting. I had to bring back meat for a banquet anyway. You can join me if you don't mind waking up early. I don't think I've ever hunted anything, and instinctively, I'm not in a hurry to try. Not to mention that I'll have to get up early in the morning. I guess it's my punishment for everything I've done since this morning. Bite your tongue, Erik. Who knows? It might even be fun. Well, so be it. Looks like we have a deal. Just come wake me up, if you don't mind, just to make sure. He rolls his eyes and goes back to his coffee. Let's say this is where he's saying yes. From the hallway I can hear the clink that still was instantly causing me to recall a fight I witnessed the day before. I instantly remembered the sound of flesh tearing and to save my head to think of something else. I don't know why my brain seems so intent on reminding me of things I want to forget today, but I really want to thank it for that. It's a real pleasure. Before I go into the direction of the training room anymore, I feel a certain uneasiness build up inside me. Am I really cut out to be a warrior? I smile than average, clearly weaker, and I don't even have a brand, so the answer is an obvious no. Unfortunately, it seems I have no choice. I need to be able to defend myself. Why can't the world just be little birds and pretty males who worship me? Oh, let's be honest, we probably get bored after a while. And for all that, I enjoy love songs. It's far more interesting to sing about tragic heroes and the struggles of our warriors. If I want to live in a world that gives me material to work with, I must also endure said material. What better way to find inspiration than to be in the middle of chaos? I'd just rather not have to be in the fray, to be able to observe from far enough away to be safe. Finally, I end my mental conflict and step in front of a large pine door to the training room and intend to push it open. Holy crap, how heavy is this? Is that part of my training to be able to get in? Pushing with my sword and leaning heavily on my paws, I finally managed to swing it open. I almost fall, but This time I refresh the scene more properly, and I catch myself on a heavy iron knock on the door. Haha, not this time, gravity. Fortunately, no one saw my place for entrance. In fact, only 2 people in the room were Gillan and Maelbjorn. They were engaged in a fierce duel. The rest of the room is covered with all kinds of ribbons, looking more like a truck room than anything else. Focusing on the duels, I don't really feel like I'm watching a sparring session, but rather a real fight. Given the intensity of the blows and the fact that both opponents use real weapons. Armed with an axe or a shield, the prince blocks and returns blow for blow with surprising celerity and size. Holding his sword firmly in both paws this time, his Gillan is on the defensive though without losing his grace. He bends brutal blows are deflected or momentarily blocked by the feline. He seems well aware that in an overly prolonged exchange, the prince would have the upper hand. Maelbjorn is also aware of his strength, using his shield almost as much as his axe when it comes to going on defensive. He battles several times the blade of the masked warrior with his shield, forcing the open skull in order to follow up a strike with the axe that aims at his flank or his head. There's no verbal exchange between the two, no insult or taunt. They seem to understand and respect each other with a simple look. It is in this silent agreement that somehow understand the importance of fighting for the prince. If I didn't know they were on the same side, I would have been convinced that they were trying to kill each other. But the more I look at them, the more I see their smiles and having fun. I don't know if it's security or insanity, but they're enjoying the fun. I'm starting to think I'm not going to just bears on a dump. Please don't be me. Please don't put me through a little fight. To be honest, I expected Maelbjorn to be a little tatted out of touch with the realities all wrong. He's clearly the type who likes to take risks. Given the love most Frostings have for war, should I really be surprised that our leaders embody them so wonderfully? My ramblings are once again interrupted when, then caused by the fight, suddenly stops. I see the prince take a breath, looking satisfied before turning to me. Even caught up in his duel, he's obviously saw me enter. Right, that also means he must have seen me almost fall. I approach his Gillan, steps back, watching me with his piercing gaze. I smile back at him and that politeness isn't totally forgotten for one of us. After this once and then stands up for a crossing the hall to rest against the father's wall and goodbye. He seems to be a lonely type too. I wonder who would win if he ever had a staring contest. Come to think of it, he seems to be just the opposite of the prince. And when we talk about the bear, we see his nose. Maelbjorn puts down his weapon, joins me with a big smile. Well, if it isn't a flying war, the big-haired slayer drove rabbit board. I sweat myself warm my eyes. I may not have been here long, but I'm already beginning to understand why they are so close off. I probably have to endure Maelbjorn's clips on a daily basis. I must have all my courtesy, my best charming smile, determined to win the bear's favor. That's seducing ability, Erik. But don't push it too far. You may have promised after all. I'm now a drug rabbit, but the rest is true. That's why I'm here, my prince. The mountain of muscle looks down at me. He raises his paw in my direction, responding with amusement. Really giving a sizable thought. I wasn't really motivated to train, but the more time passes in the bear's company, the more I wanted to poke him with a point with a rapier, just a bit. Then remember Gillan's presence. He probably made a roast out of me by lifting fingers a bear. But the rogue rabbit would have to teach the prince a lesson or two, I suppose. We play here at Maelbjorn, and that makes him chuckle. He seems to be enjoying verbal jealousy, though I expected him to be more sensitive than that given his height. Gillan, on the hand, seems decidedly more less appreciative of manners. I always say I have to be more thoughtful, be more careful than that when talking to a prince's presence. Tell me what you care for first. You know, joke around when you are able to stand up to me. The bear grabs a stick and plants himself in front of me for a stare on guard, without support on his legs. He seems to be amused by the situation, but his body shows how serious he truly is. And I don't get a stick. I know I'm very intimidating, but I doubt I can beat you with my bare paws. You have a rapier. What are you waiting for? To unsheath it? I tilt my head, questioning the prince with my eyes before setting my paws in refusal. No. There's no way I'm using a real weapon to train, let alone that she could poke you in the eye. No, I won't. There's a difference between my needs of wipers to smoke off his face and want to hurt him with a problem. But you managed to injure me, I guess I have nothing to teach you. If that happens, I'll make you a world guard on the spot. It will be a more suitable position for you than being a corporal. This is I'm not the only one in the room overflowing with confidence. I tend to use again. But the bear is crazy. He lowers the tip of the stick and smacks me on the side of the butt. I've heard a lot about the legendary vigor of weapons, so be quick on your paws and guard. I open my mouth, but no sound comes out. He really just tapped my ass. Okay, I accept the challenge. Quick, I grab a rapier, pull it out with scabbard before preparing to fight. I allow myself to address Gillan in silence of this strange duel. If anything happens, I want you to know that it was not my idea. I managed to wring a wide smile from the panther. He seems as sure as a bear about my inability to hurt him. I know I'm not too experienced, but still. You couldn't fake it though. I have an eagle to defend. I prepare to dive forward, aiming the tip of my weapon at the bear's armored belly. If I'm going to hit, it might as well be a well-protected spot. The prince's stick strikes my blade with force, deflecting it as I am swept away in my west. No way I'm going to let go of it this time. I would be the target for a mockery, but I lost my weapon again. However, while I have my gaze planted on the stick for fear of taking a hit, it is the bear's paw that comes to stop me by the soldier. Then I feel my legs give way beneath me. Next thing I know, I'm hitting the floor hard, well pleased that it's covered with soft carpet. Am I really going to be on the floor every day that the gods let me live? I stare there grunting, then Maelbjorn's head appears above me, displaying a sneering look. I'm still waiting for the lesson you want to give me. I just stare at him menacingly. Well, as menacingly as I can given my situation. Then he holds out his paw, and I hesitate to grab it for a moment. He would be capable of humiliating me some more. Finally, I lay out alongside the side to accept his help. Once I stand, I dust off my clothes and shake my head. Since when is it normal to be stripped? Since when is it normal to sweep someone off their feet in a fight? I thought we were supposed to be practicing with weapons. It's a mistake to think that a fight consists of an elegant swordplay and humor among gentlemen. Anything that can help you survive is useful. Wonderful, now it's going to give me a life lesson. Ugh. I'm only here to play music. Do I really have to go through this? The prince's face lights up and he points at me and nods. I have to speak in your language. As you see, I'm something of an artist myself. I mean, let's say I see finds in art. He doesn't seem to give a fuck about my question, so I just watch him dubiously, trying to see where he's going with this with his more metaphor. I know that in music there are notes that are not used too often because they are considered discordant. In themselves they don't sound right. But in a song, when these notes are put in harmony with the others, they form a whole which can make a wonderful melody. It's a little more complex than that. Let's say you're right. So what? In combat, it works basically the same way. The discordant note is something that your opponent does not expect from you, and that seems to have no place in a fight. During the ice, tripping your adversary, even a girl kicking the balls, wherever floats your boat, as long as it keeps you alive. And the sound of my metaphor is your fight. The end justifies the means. You use discordant notes to win. They have a beautiful symphony. So all this was to explain to me that I have to kill my opponent no matter what. I'm obviously not the only one who lives to hear himself talk. The bear nods briskly with a bright smile, ignoring my jail, awfully too happy his explanation has achieved its purpose. For all my bitching, I'll at least give him this. He tried to come on my field to make his explanation, and then spread that from a nobleman, much less a prince. Okay, let's say I get it. My question is, what am I supposed to do to defend myself? I would say that first of all, you should change your weapon. You are small and weak. Rapier is not the best choice for you. So the only person who has the right to menace me like that is myself. I have to admit that I'm seriously getting tired of this kind of remark. Seriously, why is everyone focusing on my size and strength? Couldn't someone point out that I'm cute or something along the line? My nose must be visible because Maelbjorn seems to understand the situation and lays his ears on his head with an apologetic look before resuming in a calm tone. My point is that his beard would suit you better, since most of your opponents will have a much longer reach than your little arms have. You need to compensate with a longer weapon. I'm trying to contain my smile, of course. In bed as in war, it seems the only thing that matters the most is size. I collect myself by clearing my throat, hoping the prince hasn't picked up my little mental escapade. Let's say I use a spear. How am I supposed to skewer someone? I don't have the strength to do that. I already have trouble carrying a sword. Well, it's pretty simple. Most of your opponents will underestimate you. Use that to your advantage. Taunt them. Make them attack you. If you see them charging, you put the wooden end of your spear against the ground. You may not have the strength to impale someone, but the ground will take care of it just fine. Whether they're not stupid, they don't rush me. I guess you ran into someone who knows how to control himself, you're probably dead anyway. Wait, Mr. Trainer, what an amazing way to support your students. I feel so much more confident now. I'll see you tomorrow for the next lesson, how to run away from certain death. Anyway, I can't do that. I care about this weapon. It was given me by a friend, so I have to take care of it. That's cute, but it won't save you. In all honesty, and sorry if it offends you, my prince, but I doubt your advice will help me much. In fact, my physicality is not the only power I have with fighting. It's just not in my nature. I'm here to love and sing, not to fight. I really don't enjoy violence, so. Also, I tend to freeze up when I'm scared. It's a rabbit thing. And you believe that other species don't have this problem? Everyone is afraid of death. That's another thing, even for me. You have to get into a specific frame of mind when you fight. If you think about death, it's always over for you. I'm sure the problem is more complex than that, but I don't intend to solve my disagreement with the prince. Not alone when he's talking about something he seems to have a good handle on. And how am I supposed to fight by instincts? The bear shrugs and smiles as he gives me another poke on the butt with his stick. He's starting to get pussy. You have to tap into all the emotions that drive you to survive, especially anger. Anger is a powerful tool, but you must not let it consume you. Turn your anger to passion first and foremost. With passion, you will prevail. And we go back to the two Capricorn philosophy. He's nice but a little too idealistic and out of touch with reality for my taste at the moment. It's a nice way to say it, and as a bard, I find it very poetic, but practically speaking, how am I supposed to apply your advice? Suddenly the hare loses his characteristic joviality. He becomes serious and gives me a threatening look while his muscles tense up to a maximum. My instincts abruptly kick in as if I had a real opponent facing me. As it happens, there's a particular rumor that is constantly circulating about the prince. It is said throughout the kingdom that his brain is the weakest of any ruler that Frostfang has ever known. If I'm going to play his game, I need to hit him where it really hurts. I take my most mocking tone while looking Maelbjorn in the eye. It's time to return the favor. You know, I've heard a lot of things about you, good and bad. You know how women can be. Obviously, size doesn't matter, but as far as brands go, it's kind of ridiculous not to have great power when you have such responsibilities. Gillan gives me a menacing glare, and then looks worried for the prince. I thought it would make the bear disgruntled or even angry, but he just looks sad for a second. Then he manages to force a smile before taking on a more serious face. I guess I had it coming, but I'd like to avoid the subject in the future. If he didn't like it, he has a more contained reaction than I thought. Did I really hurt him? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. I apologize if the subject is sensitive. It was not meant to hurt you. Shit, Erik, it was tempting, but you could have held back. He's bound to weigh in on the competition. You could have made an ally of him. Instead, you're probably going to push him away from you. You better make it up to him. If it makes you feel any better, I don't have a plan at all. My mom makes the bear smile when he resumes his original seriousness again. That's nice of you, but I have responsibilities that require me to be strong. You have the choice to live a peaceful life even without a plan, but I do not. Like I said, let's not talk about it. I didn't think that someone in the South profile of Prince could suffer from these kinds of rumors. But it seems that he is very familiar with the market about his brand. Maybe it's why it's not worse to not have a brand. At least I'm not doomed to be seen as weak, not just because of my physique anymore, but because of my powers. I like to feel sorry for him, but the truth is I have no idea what he's been through. I don't even know what's on his mind right now. I'm sincerely sorry, my Prince, and will not happen again. I feel I need to bow to him to add weight to my apology, but he stops me in my tracks by holding my shoulders. There's no need for that. I accept your apology on one condition. I want you to train regularly, even when I'm not around. I'll keep that in mind. I'm doing fine if that's all he asks for me, for obviously insulting him. Excellent, but tell yourself this is just the beginning. Things are going to get more complicated. I can't really understand the Prince's obsession with my physical condition, but it seems to matter to him, so I nod politely with a side smile. I'm impatient, I guess, but my Prince, I have to go, unfortunately. I have to admit that I had a long day and will appreciate some rest. For away from this part, the bear dismisses me and picks up his weapon, preparing to continue his somewhat more serious training with Gilead. Go and don't forget my advice. Say hello to your family friend, by the way. Hope you enjoy yourself here until the competition starts. I will not fail to do so. Good day, my Prince, and go, and to you too, Gilead. The Panther glanced back at me, apparently as pleasant as ever, and insulting and hurting the Prince was clearly not a good idea. Especially in his presence, he seems very protective of Maelbjorn. It was a strange day, to say the least. Fortunately, after training with Maelbjorn, things calmed down a bit. I finally had a chance to take a little nap in my room, and then I explored the palace a bit, where the areas are accessible to me at least. This also means I located the most essential place in the entire building, the one I absolutely needed to remember the location of, the kitchen. This allowed me to confirm that I won't have to pay for all my meals. My purse is saved, at least for now. Once my little exploration was over, I simply went back to my room. I'd had enough of something for the day, and the urge to go out was gone. Not to mention that I promised Vicari that I would go hunting with him tomorrow morning, and only the gods know exactly what time I will have to wake up. Going to bed relatively early sounds like a good idea to me. However, before I go to bed, I'm going to knock on a cat's door. I want to know how the bird is doing and apologize for the way I behaved when I left. Unfortunately, no one answers me. I guess he's out. I can't really expect him to spend his day locked up, I guess. Which leaves me with only one thing to do, sleep. Tomorrow's another day, and hopefully a better one. I like the idea of keeping my hair on my shoulders, so let's not overdo it. A little disparaging remark will satisfy the Prince and totally piss him off. I look Maelbjorn in the eye with my best mocking expression. It's time to return the favor. I don't want to brag, but I'm very good with jabs. You know, as a boy, I hear a lot of rumors about different nobles and rules around the world. My long ears aren't just for show. People who pass through the various royal courts talk a lot once they've had enough to drink. I'm there to lend them a listening ear. The Prince crosses his arms and says in his eyes I continue. A little musical frown on his lips. He's expecting a punchline in my story, so I hope to give him what he wants. It turns out, the favorite topic of these ladies and gentlemen is what happens in bed, so much so that one would think that the nobles only think about sex. They love to talk about their torrid nights with lovers of all kinds, practicing the most exotic deeds. The bear's confidence changes to an inquisitive stare. I think he's beginning to understand what direction I'm heading in with this story. The big problem is, it turns out I could hear a lot about the feats of your fathers. They are not exactly my fathers, Listen, my uncle, I don't want to know about his feats. Always to pay attention though, we even made songs about it. When the kings start to funk, better not try your luck. You should hear their rumbles. They can make walls crumble. I had the great pleasure of seeing him in battles for the first time. I happen to have heard these kind of rumors, but I haven't heard about you, so I wonder if it's a performance issue or maybe just a lack of experience. Usually princes are known for their frolicking. Hey, easy there. I'm discreet about it. That's it. During Maelbjorn's outrageous face and defensive tone clearly struck a chord. Interesting hypothesis. But it's not a great selling point to say that a prince is discreet in my songs. I'd rather say he's having some trouble hoisting the mast, if you know what I mean. It makes the people laugh. They need to vent against the powerful after all. I don't think my settlers care about my personal life at all. Besides, if they rather have me fucking around than leading, then they don't know how heavy the weight of my office is. Indeed, the weight of your office much less important to them than the weight of your. Enough. I get it. You have your fun. Entertain. Seeing the bear's irritated look, I struggled not to laugh. I put on my most sarcastic air to answer him. I'm sorry, my prince. Please accept my deepest apologies. I feel the need to bow down to Maelbjorn to mock him a little bit more, but he stops me in my tracks by holding my shoulders. There's no need for that, and I'll accept your apology on one condition. I want you to train regularly, even when I'm not around. I'll keep that in mind, but that's it. I don't want to brag, but I was expecting something more physical. I had to spare you a bit. I don't want to break you from the start. I must confess to not understand the prince's obsession with my physical condition, but it seems to matter to him, so I nod politely. I understand. That said, forgive me, my prince, but my day has been long and exhausting, and I would like to rest a little. May I? With a wave of his paw, the bear dismisses me and picks up his weapon, preparing to continue his slightly more serious training with Gilead, while jovially calling out to me. Go, and don't forget my advice. Say hello to your feathery friend, by the way. I hope you enjoy yourself here until the competition starts. I will not fail to do so. Good day, my prince, and to you too, Gilead. The panther glanced back at me, apparently as pleasant as ever. He must not have a set of the jabs I threw at the prince. It was a strange day, to say the least. Fortunately, after training with Maelbjorn, things calmed down a bit. I finally had a chance to take a nap in my room. And then explore the palace a bit. Well, the areas are accessible to me at least. Which also means I located the most central place in the entire building, the one I absolutely need to remember the location of. The kitchen. This allowed me to confirm that I won't have to pay for all my meals. My purse is safe, at least for now. Once my little exploration was over, I soon went back to my room. I had enough excitement for the day, and the urge to go out was gone. Not to mention that I promised Picard that I would go hunting with him tomorrow morning, and only the gods know exactly what time I would have to wake up. Going to bed relatively early sounds like a good idea to me. However, before I go to sleep, I'm going to knock on Cat's door. I want to know how the bird is doing and apologize for the way I behaved when I left. Unfortunately, no one answers me. I guess he's out. I can't really expect him to spend his day locked up, I guess. Which leaves me with only one thing to do: sleep. Tomorrow is another day, and hopefully a better one.